From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for November 8th, 2016. I'm Jordan Elston.
And I'm Sarah Singletary. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Registered voters across the country are heading to the polls today to cast their ballots. However, some Troy University students that thought that they would be voting today were told differently. Tuesday presents an opportunity for Americans to make history as they vote for the next president of the United States. And one political philosophy class on Troy's campus is going the extra mile to make sure that people cast their votes.
We are having a Get Out the Vote drive, and it is non-biased. We are going up to everybody who's coming by who doesn't already have a I voted sticker and just giving them a reminder to go out and vote.
And with efforts being made to make sure that people cast their ballots, I am here outside of one of the polling places to find out what really motivated people to come out and vote. Why did you decide to vote?
I think this is probably the most important election in the last 15, 20 years, so I thought it was a good day to come out and vote.
African American people died for my right to vote.
I just decided to come vote because this is a basic right that all of us as American citizens have, and it's really our civic duty to just come out and have our voice heard.
I feel like, everybody's been talking about, we want change, we want this and we want that, and it's just a part of actually inciting change.
And while some voters are making sure that their voices are heard, about 30 Troy University students that thought they would be voting today received a different message from Troy Student Government Association. A text was sent out stating that some forms were not sent out due to, quote, technological difficulties.
During one of the shifts, we did not go and pick up the forms, and so it got stuffed at the bottom of the box of all the leftover forms. It's completely on us. It's on me. I take full responsibility that I should have caught that, and I could not be more apologetic to the student body. One student shares his reaction to his voter registration form not being turned in.
I was more, I guess, confused that something might have happened than I was upset or angry or anything like that.
The forms have since then been turned in so that those students can vote in future elections. Any students who were affected by the missing registration forms may be eligible to file a provisional ballot. They should ask poll workers about that possibility. Alabama polling places will be open until 7 p.m.
Troy University's new International Arts Center features a pair of art galleries, one which will permanently display the work of artist Null and one with rotating exhibits. The first exhibit, featuring the work of past Troy University art professors, opened on Saturday morning. Kyle Shook gives us a look.
On Saturday, Troy University officially unveiled its new International Arts Center. The exhibit is housed in what used to be the Stewart Dining Hall. Janice Hawkins gives her vision for the center.
One day when this was still a dining hall, my husband and I had lunch here, and he looked around and said, this would be a great art building, the size of the rooms and the height of the ceiling. And I have wanted since the day we set foot on this campus to have some facility for the art department besides what they have in Malone Hall.
The Cultural Arts exhibit will primarily feature two exhibits. The Null Gallery, which will be comprised of Troy's own Null, with his works rotating in and out, and the Hubao Gallery, which will be a collection of artists from all over, including Troy's own faculty and staff, which will also rotate throughout the semester and the years. Walter Gavan and Janice Hawkins elaborate on how the public was involved in the center's development.
So let me emphasize how much the community has been a partner in this. Thanks to the community's involvement and generosity, this is really this is a resource that is the community's resource as well as the university's resource.
I hope that when the public comes here to work with graphic arts and design, which they do, that they'll be so impressed that they'll want to be a part of this.
Kyle Shook, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Heritage exhibit is currently on display in the Hubao Gallery in the International Arts Center. The center is located in what used to be Stewart Dining Hall on Troy's campus. Monday morning, Troy University will present their annual Helen Keller lecture, highlighting those who have succeeded despite physical or mental disabilities.
However, this year's lecture will feature a special dance performance focusing on a little-known part of Helen Keller's life. Samantha Charles gives us a preview.
It's the story of Helen in her 30s.
When you hear the name Helen Keller, odds are you think of a woman who overcame adversity despite the lack of hearing and vision. But what else? That's where Troy University comes into play.
I think most people know Helen Keller for her fame with the writing and the poems and just who she was as a independent woman. But this is a side of Helen that people don't get to see, which is the love and the relationship side. And for me, being Peter Fagan, I get to come in and experience that. And I already have learned so much of history just by poems that Helen has written to Peter and their time that they had together, even though it was very short.
Helen Unveiled is a story told through dance and music and has been in the works since mid-August.
The dancers are great, and Troy is a marvelous place to work. And the studios are fantastic, and I am finding myself very happy here.
One performer says this production has opened her eyes into the life and love of Helen Keller.
I'm learning more about her and more of like a person, like knowing her needs and her wants, and I feel like I'm able to connect with her because like knowing even though she was blind and deaf, I have some of the same needs and wants that she wanted.
The performance debuts on November 14th in the Claudia Crosby Theater. Samantha Charles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Helen Keller lecture will be Monday morning at 10 a.m. in the Claudia Crosby Theater. It is free and open to the public.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Thank you, fans, for sticking around to hear the latest in Troy athletics. The Trojan football team is rolling along, and after having routed off 6 straight wins, they will now face their toughest threat since Week 2 against the Clemson Tigers. Sure, the South game was tough, but all rivalry games are, and Saturday, 2 teams that are undefeated in Sun Belt Conference play will square off at the Vet. One was preseason favorite. The other selected to finish middle of the pack. But the Trojans, without a doubt, would not have gotten this far without a certain leader. He's already thrown for 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns this year and run for 3 more, eclipsing his rushing total from all of last season and just 300 yards off his passing total from the 2015 season. Junior quarterback Brendan Silvers has made a huge step under the second year of head coach Neil Brown. And if you're wondering about Silvers being a leader,
yeah, well, we're 7-1, and he's the leader, you know, and he's especially the leader on offense. So I would say job well done so far.
The offense follows me and Chun, and then up front with Tony Garcia, Emmanuel Thompson handles receiver. So, we're just doing it as a whole group. It's not just one guy, making plays. It's not just one guy leading the team, or especially the offense. So we're doing it as a whole group.
For a guy that just shrugs off the compliments that are given to him, Coach Brown sees the potential that Silvers brings to the table.
He's talented. He'll make some wild throws. On his last series that he played, the post throw to Emmanuel Thompson, the back shoulder go ball to Andre Flakes. Those are wild throws. Those are big time throws. Now, I mean, those are throws that'll get you evaluated for Sunday. And the way I coach him is I always coach him about what his potential is. But I still think his ceiling is higher than what he's playing. And so we'll continue to challenge him. But I'm pleased, and I think he's done a nice job leading our offense and leading our team.
The biggest issue this far with Silvers, says Coach Brown, has been his footwork, which led to Silvers' interception in the first quarter of Saturday's win against UMass. But after that, Silvers connected on his next 8 passes.
Then he has some plays where his footwork, maybe he looks at the blitz, and that's what he's got to clean up.
Yeah, just getting in the rhythm. With that interception, it sucks, but just got to get in rhythm. And I think I did that. When I get in rhythm, I feel pretty good out there. I saw everything just like I did last week, and it was good.
Saturday, Brandon Silvers accounted for 4 touchdowns, bringing his career total to 59, 4th all-time in Troy history. And you can catch Brandon Silvers along with his fellow Trojans Saturday at the Vet when they welcome in App State for a Sun Belt Conference showdown. This will be another challenge on the Redemption Tour list as the Mountaineers downed the Trojans in 3 overtimes last season. And from the gridiron to the hard court, the women's basketball team is now preparing for its season opener. The Trojans' opponent, much like the Trojans, made the NCAA tournament last season but went 1 round further than Chandler Rigby's squad.
We open up at Auburn this Friday night. That's a great contest for us. They went two rounds deep into the NCAA tournament last year and have pretty much everybody back. So it's going to be quite a challenge for us. We're going to see how we're going to be able to break a press because that's what they're really good at. And we lost our single press breaker last year in Ashley Beverly Kelly. So
the in-state competition between the Trojans and Tigers will tip off Friday night in Auburn at 5:30 p.m. on SEC Network Plus. The Trojan volleyball team is down, but they're not out, as they will be on the road for competition this weekend to round out their season. Here's head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick.
Anytime you have road trips to begin with, it's different because you're out of your normal routine. But to have two pretty long road trips is a little bit different. But, you know, we're treating it like any other week.
The Trojans will take on the Mountaineers of App State and the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina this upcoming weekend. The Trojans previously defeated the Mountaineers in a 5-set match at Trojan Arena before dropping a 3-set match to Coastal on senior night.